know that you spend, if I want to ask you whether that puts you in trouble a lot, you spend a lot of time thinking.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time thinking, internalizing, ingesting, synthesizing, etc. Is all of this bleeding into your work?
Wow, this is a good question. I think it is, but maybe not as much music anymore because I'm doing a lot of
More
other
than,
things.
yes.
But it's so interesting that we have this statement on social media that says, resist the urge to shalaye. That blows my mind. Like, it's almost an affront to the thinking person.
Right.
It says, whatever you do, like, make the statement, stand on your ground, whatever. And at the time when I think that people need to think, and people need to explain, that you need to listen to somebody and be like, tell me, say that again, say it over again. And
that's powerful.
You know, and I find that, especially with a lot of my skirmishes on the internet and stuff, like, they really make me laugh a lot of times.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I say to myself at the end of the day that this is not yet the era in Nigeria for the thinking person. You know, the person that says that you're going to sound crazy a lot of times. During the xenophobic attacks, I got death threats. People were insulting me in my DMs for making a statement that I think read in its entirety made absolute sense, wasn't controversial at all.
Like, when did love become controversial? When did forgiveness and compassion become controversial? Yeah.
And you just have to accept that, you know, I guess as power becomes, you know, more democratized, right? What that means is that all these opinions come into the room at the same place. And the thinking person doesn't want to just scream and yell. Like, it makes me laugh when artists will say to me, like, they will be aggressive. You know, like, oh, if you try this with me next time. Like, it really makes me laugh, even when my response is like, hey, I apologize. Not because I'm afraid, but because I apologize. Like, hey, I'm sorry, you know, but the idea that's what people respond to, like bravado and I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm stretching this answer.
No, dude, I love the answer. This is it,
But it also casts to me a way that I think about politics in Nigeria. And I think about the fact that if you take a classroom and you come to the classroom and you say, hey, I want you to send 5 people to the dining hall. When you get to the dining hall, there's food there. You guys are going to have to fight for or get the food for your class and bring it back. The students would sit down and they would select probably the 5 strongest people, right? The biggest boys. Now, these boys, generally, they're the bullies of the class. The students know that when they come back with the pots, they're going to keep meat in their pockets and they're going to share, right? But they'll send these guys. Why? Because they say, as a group, our interests are better served by sending the bullies, the biggest guys, to represent us. If you reframe it and you say, hey, I'm going to bring this pot of food for your class to the class, and I want you guys to vote while I stand here for the person that should share this food. They would pick, you know, those quiet girls that sit in front, that don't even want trouble, that prefer to give everybody else meat, right? And I think that ideologically we're caught between these two in Nigeria, where a lot of our politicians are loud, brash. We know that they cheat us. We know they're going to steal, but we say they will best
fight for us,
defend our group.
Our group.
And we need to get to the point where we start saying, who is the best person to provide equality and equity for all people within our groups? You know, because we are, as a country, at a place where, you know, every group does have constitutionally or federally have their piece of the cake framed out for them, and you know.
That's so powerful, you know, because you're just explaining something. I tweeted a few days ago that it must be a tough time for people who are fans of the middle way, because the loudest voices own the conversation. But don't worry, our time will come again. But you're right. If when the world is split into tribes, then tribes want the people who will fight for them. Like if it's a tribe war, you know, even if you're on the right side of the party, even if you are on the right side of equality rights for women or etc, you just believe that, look, the person to get me my own share is the loudest person. Even if I know that some of the things she's saying don't make sense.
Absolutely.
But she will fight. That makes so much sense. Because I think it's a global thing. It's not just Nigeria, across the world. You know, even the people who are fighting for black lives.
I just said, for Nigeria, it's expressed in politics. And unfortunately, that's the way the world is today. I think that to answer the question about strength, I think the true audience for the strength or weakness debate, as you're viewed, is one person, and that's yourself. That you have to, it is strength to not care about what people think, is strength to act according to what your values are and what you see to be right from where you're standing, regardless of what people are going to say. You know, I would see this thing online where people say, like, even fans of mine will say, like, even though M.I has a terrible character, he's still a great rapper or something like that. Like, it's become like the cool thing to say, like, oh, M.I is a terrible person, but he can rap, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this is a view shared by anyone that knows me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think that everybody that
sure.
knows me says this guy has integrity.
Yeah.
If he says he's going to do something, he does it.
Yeah.
You know, giving, kind, generous. And again, that audience is myself.
Right.
If I can look myself in the mirror and say, hey, I've not cheated anybody. I've always tried to say the truth. If I feel I've offended someone, I'll apologize.
Right.
Like, these are things that I value, and that's the only person that matters.
Right.
For this one thing is myself, you know.
That's powerful.